Hello. Believe it or not, I'm actually doing a video now that I've got a subject for. It's it's apparent to me, and it was the same with me, that a lot of people watch these motorbike vlog videos because they're thinking about getting a bike, and it's quite an opportunity actually to speak to people who are thinking of getting a bike and give them some advice from those of us who mostly just ride a bike, who don't drive cars very often. So, if you are watching these videos because you are considering getting a bike, let me give you a little bit, I'll tell you a bit why I love bikes actually, why not? One of the reasons I love motorbikes, this is going to sound really fucking stupid, but I'm sure everyone who rides a motorbike will probably agree with me. One of the great things about motorbikes is you are, unlike being in a car, when you're sitting down you're just pressing pedals and turning this big wheel in front of you. On a bike, you feel like you're part of the process of moving from A to B, if you know what I mean. Every single movement you make, every single move, you change your seating position, you very slightly move your arms, you move your knees, move anything, it has a direct effect on the way the bike feels. So in some ways it's almost like being part of the machine, if you know what I mean. Everything you do has an effect. It's a complete experience, is what is one of the great things about riding a motorbike. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people want to get a motorbike, because it's exciting. Even going from your house to the local shop to buy some milk becomes fun, more so than in a car. So that's one of the things I love about motorbikes. Now let me get off and I'll show you this one. If you don't watch my videos, you won't know what I have. This is mine. Can you see that? It's a Yamaha FJ1200. It's from 1987, so it's almost as old as I am. Large engine, 1200 cc's. 0 to 60 in a very short amount of time. Top speed, I don't know, sort of supposed to be 145, 155 miles an hour. It's a big bike. It's a very powerful bike. It's a very heavy bike. And for that reason, it is not the sort of bike you want to get when you first pass, or first get your license, or your permit, or whatever it is you have to do to ride a bike where you're from. Now, a lot of people ask motorcyclists, especially on YouTube, when you get these sort of videos, I get a few questions about it myself. What is a good first bike? Is the bike you've got a good first bike? What should I get as a first bike? Now, there's no easy answer to that question, but the only answer I can give you is whatever you want. There are some bikes that people say are best for a first bike. A lot of people will use the Ninja 250, which you'll see a lot of YouTube videos of if you've been looking at different bike videos. The Ninja 250 seems to be very popular, especially in America. The only advice you can give for which would be a first bike is, once you get your license, once you pass your MSF or your CBT or whatever it is you need to do in whatever country you're from, go and ride a few different bikes. Find one that you like the feel of, because the feel of it is the most important thing there is. If you like it, if you feel confident on it, if you feel comfortable on it, that's the bike for you. If I could make a recommendation, I would not recommend as a first bike, a super bike, or you know what I mean, the sort of 600cc pocket rockets, because they have so much potential that you won't even be able to tap for the first year or so of riding. That if you accidentally tap it when you're not expecting it, you'll either fall off or become so addicted to it that you'll crash into a tree at some point. So yeah, good first bike, doesn't matter. Just find a bike you like the feel of, ride it a bit. If you feel confident, if you feel comfortable, then it's a perfect first bike. Now, if you're considering getting a bike but you haven't, ridden one, you've never sat on one, before you buy one, before you do anything, go and take your MSF, or one of these days where you train on a bike for a day, because some people will get onto a bike, ride it around a bit, and they'll be terrified. It's just the way it is. It's totally different from driving or anything like that. It's totally different from riding a bicycle. Some people sit on it, they'll start moving, and they will hate it. Other people will sit on it, they'll start moving, they'll love it, and all they can think about forever from then on is motorbikes. So go and have a go if you're not sure. Another thing, if you're thinking of buying a motorbike, you need to think about gear. When I say gear, I'm talking helmets, gloves, jackets, trousers, boots. When you get yourself a bike, although you might not have to wear a helmet or any of this stuff where you are, you need to come up with your own personal level of coverage, your own personal gear level that you won't leave the house without. For me, I will not go on the bike without gloves, even though these got, gloves, jacket, boots, a heavy pair of jeans. I know they're not as good as motorcycle trousers, but I'm not going to wear shorts, that's for sure. And full face helmets. If you want to know why you should wear gear, take an orange, rub it along the road, not very fast, not very hard, just scrape it along the road, pick it back up and see the damage that's done to the skin of an orange being rubbed slowly across asphalt. And after, imagine that happening to your skin. Oof. Well, and I will say that if you crash without wearing gear, you'll get no sympathy for your injuries from anyone who rides a bike, because it's your own stupid fault. If you end up with no skin on your arms, well, there's no skin off my nose. Right, so this is my bike, so let's start up. Oh, there we go. It's old. Once you've done your MSF or your CBT or whatever, and you've found your bike and you've bought it, that doesn't automatically mean you are now, king of the road. Anyone will tell you the most important thing to do with motorbikes is practice. Because every decision you make on a bike, you're the only person responsible for anything that happens. For example, the majority of motorbike accidents actually don't involve another vehicle. It's frequently just the motorcyclist going around the corner too quickly, losing control. Let's have a quick ride. The best place to practice is in a car park, much like this. Just riding around. You know how, if you're, say, doing sports, say you're a basketball player, your coach or your instructor or whatever will talk about fundamentals, the very basics of playing the sport. It might be, anything. You can play a sport but be rubbish at it. You have to be good at the very basics of it to get it properly. And it's exactly the same with riding a motorbike. One of the most important things there is to master the basics. And the basics is going to be being able to move around without falling off. So, once you get your first bike, head down to a car park. You can do it at night, you can do it during the day. If you're embarrassed, it doesn't matter. And you just want to practice slow riding. U-turns, figure of eights, moving at walking pace or just below, without putting your feet down. Every moment you spend doing this will make you safer on the bike. What other advice can I give? Oh yes, observation. There's a guy on YouTube called Advanced Motorcycle Rider, who's a police instructor who trains police motorcycle riders. If you watch some of his videos, the ones with commentary, he'll be riding behind someone, talking into a radio so they can hear, and describing the road ahead. Now, it's quite incredible listening to him, you can just about see these things out in the distance. He's talking, he's narrating 2 or 3 turns ahead of where he is. So he's saying there's a road coming up here, everything's bending to the left. He describes how you decide when to put the power on in corners and that sort of thing. Observation only increases, your observational skills will only increase with practice. The more you ride, the better they'll be, as long as you're paying attention. If you're only interested in driving quickly, riding quickly, your observational skills won't improve. You'll be too busy trying to get your knee down, which I don't know why people are so desperate to get their knee down. But there we go. Trying to get your knee down and go around corners faster than you are able to, and you are going to end up coming a cropper and getting injured. The best thing you can do as far as observation skills, general riding skills, is get out and ride. Or take advanced lessons where someone is going to, watch you riding, narrate your riding, give you tips, this, that and the other. So yeah, basically, that's the only tip, isn't it? Practice, practice, practice. Another thing, if you're going to go out riding with other people in a group, it is important to ride at your own pace. If you're trying to keep up with people who are beyond your skill level, which a lot of them will be, then you're more likely to cause a crash and fall off, which is obviously the last thing you want. And again, you'll get no sympathy from anyone in the motorcycling community if you are riding beyond your skill limit and you fall off, or you cause a crash and cause someone else to fall off. Just want to make that absolutely clear. So, that's about all I can think of at the moment. Hopefully that's a fairly short video. If you are looking at these videos in order to think about getting a bike, keep looking. Don't decide not to get one. And hopefully, one day, I'll be able to watch videos of you. But in the meantime, I'm just going to drive around in circles. Actually, now that I've done all that nonsense, and I've filled my tank up, so I'm good for another 200 miles. I'm going to go home, because I've already ridden today. I'm going to go this way. Oh, I love big heavy bikes. I don't think I'm ever going to get anything less than a liter bike ever again. Something about the way the heavy bikes feel, I don't know what it is. I've tried. Oh my god! Technical difficulties. I've tried a few smaller capacity bikes. I had a 500. I tried an SV650 a couple of times. I did have a go on a Ninja. I don't know, there's something about those bikes. The engines are nice and lively and this, that and the other, but they just feel, I don't know, I don't like the feel of them. There's something about them. These bikes are nice and chunky and secure, and it's hard to explain. People that ride bikes will know what I mean. You find the sort of bike you like and you stick with it. There's a lot of people who love cruisers and they'll only ride cruisers. I like cruisers, but couldn't ride one all the time. Oh yeah, the other thing, let's turn that off, for you people thinking about getting motorbikes, it is important to remember, no matter what anyone tells you, the motorbikes are dangerous. And the way to make them safer is to practice, basically, and keep them in fairly decent mechanical order. For example, the tyres, as an example. If you're in a car and the tyres have got no tread and you slip, you're just going to skid off the road and crash. That's fine. If you skid off the road and crash on a motorbike, you're going to have a serious injury. I mean, even the smallest incident, fucking camera, the smallest incident in a car, transfer that onto a motorbike where you are, and I can demonstrate this quite nicely. Where a motorbike is basically an engine between two wheels with a seat on top. The smallest fall that actually is a crash can potentially kill you. So before you buy your first motorbike, make sure you realise that they are dangerous. But anyway, I don't know where I am. Sky's nice there. So I guess I will see anyone later, and if you are considering getting one, I hope this has been slightly informative. Ta-ta!